Hello, boys and girls. It's time for our Bible class today, and we are going to study about creation, the very beginning of everything that you see in our world today. God created it all, and He created it in 6 days, and on the seventh day He rested. This is the first verse in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, we know that the best book in all the world is the Bible. We learned that last week. The Bible, it is the most important book in the whole world. You know, there's millions and millions of books. But this is the one we live by, the New Testament, the law of Christ. We know that we learn things from the Old Testament, but we live by the New Testament. And the Old Testament, we have 39 books. And remember, it's divided up. 5 books for the law, 12 books for history, 5 books for poetry, 5 books for major prophets, 12 for minor prophets. So the way you can remember this is 5, 12, 5, 5, 12. 5 law, 12 history, 5 poetry, 5 major prophets, and 12 minor. We know that the first 5 books are called the Pentateuch, or the law. We know that the divisions of the New Testament books, there are 27 of those in the New Testament. Now, this is what we go by. We live by the New Testament. And remember, Jesus fulfilled that when He died on the cross. He fulfilled the old law. And now we're under the new law. We have the Gospels, which are the life of Christ. It tells the history of the life of Christ. The Gospel, we know, is the good news, the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. So we have the life of Christ in those first 4 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Acts is another book of history. It's the history of the church. So, and then we have epistles, and we learned that the epistles are letters to people, letters to congregations. So we have all of these written mostly by Paul, 13 of those, possibly 14. We don't know who the author of Hebrews was, but people think it was Paul. So, and then we have James, the brother of Jesus. You know Peter, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd, 3rd John. Remember James and John, the sons of Zebedee, and another apostle, Jude, wrote these letters. Then we have the last book is Revelation, and we only have one book of prophecy. It's the book of prophecy. So we have 27 books in the New Testament, 39 in the Old. So in all, there are 66 books. And these books were written over 1,600 years by 40 different men. And they had various jobs. Some of them were fishermen. Some of them were priests. Some of them were shepherds. Some of them were kings. Some of them were scribes. They wrote down the Bible, the law. Written from 3 continents, Asia, Africa, and Europe. Written in Hebrew for the Old Testament mostly, some Aramaic. Greek was the New Testament, what it was written in mostly, some Aramaic. All was written by these 40 men with amazing agreement. They agreed with everything. Everything, there was fulfillment. It was amazing because it was written by God. God told them what to write. These 40 men. And that's why everything agrees in this Bible, and there's so much unity. Here is our memory verse this week. Now remember, you need to be working on your memory verses. Have your parents to write down, this is what that you have memorized, Genesis 1, 1 and 2, or whatever the memory verse has been, and work on those papers and turn them into us. And we have marble jars, and you know Miss Tish makes cinnamon rolls, Miss Shirley makes those chocolate chip cookies, and then also Miss Barbara does those fudge pies and all those chocolate pies. So anyway, when you fill up your marble jar, you get one of those. You can pick, or a goodie bag, and Miss Lucy can put in some really good stuff in those goodie bags. But you do it anyway. You do it not just for those goodie bags, not for those cinnamon rolls, chocolate chip cookies, or pies, or goodie bags. You do it because it's the right thing to do, to learn these memory verses. It's God's word, and we want to put it in our mind. Remember, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now let's listen to the description of the earth. The earth was without form and void. Means it was empty. The earth was empty. It was when God first created the earth, it was empty. That's what that void means. And darkness was on the face of the deep. Now, what's the deep? And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. So you have the Spirit of God. You know how an airplane or helicopter hovers over a spot, stays in a place over the waters, over the deep. So here he was, God, over the waters of the earth. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void. It was empty. And darkness was at the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Deep and waters, I think, are synonyms here. So, Genesis is the first book of the Bible. So, Genesis is the beginning. The beginning of the Bible. But not just the beginning of the Bible, boys and girls. It's the beginning of everything. It's the beginning of our world, our universe. The first book of the Bible tells us how the earth and the entire universe first came into being. God created everything in 6 days. That's amazing. Just to think. If you go outside and you look up at the sky and you see the sun, you see the moon and the stars, you see the trees and all different kinds of trees, all different kinds of plants, everything, and animals and people, to know that he created everything in just 6 days is truly amazing. Create. What does create mean? Create means to cause something to happen as a result of one's actions. So God caused something to happen as a result of his actions. He brought something into existence that wasn't before. Synonyms are produce, generate, make, build, construct. God constructed this world with his hands. He made it all. These are kids, and you know what they are? They're creating a painting. They have canvas, they have paint, and they're making their own creations, and not one of these look the same. Everybody's making their own creations. And you do that too. You make different things. You make paintings. You may make sculptures. You may fold paper and make something with paper. You do that a lot in school and at home, and it's fun to create and make something. For every house is built by someone, but the builder of all things is God. Hebrews 3:4. Now, boys and girls, you're going to hear from other people, maybe in a textbook at school, maybe on a television program. You're going to hear something about that God didn't make everything. That maybe there was a big explosion and everything just came into place. The earth became the right place between the sun and other planets. It's just in the right place. It was not too hot, not too cold. It's perfect. And we have oxygen, not like other planets that we know of. And it's just perfect. Did that just happen by accident? That's hard to believe. Well, there's a word called evolution, and it says that just things just came and exploded, and then things just gradually came into existence. Well, that's not what the Bible says, is it? Now, here is a car. What if I told you this? I have my car out here. This is my nice red sports car. You would say, that is not a red sports car, Miss Tish. That does not look anything like a red sports car. Well, guess what, guys? I went to sleep one night, and all of a sudden, there I have my nice red sports car. Isn't that amazing? It just happened, and it happened. It's all together, and it's shiny, and it's beautiful. Do you believe me? No, you don't believe me. No, you don't believe a word Miss Tish told you, because that's not logical. That doesn't make sense. That all of a sudden, all those parts came together to make this car. That's absolutely ridiculous. Well, remember, for every house is built by someone, but the builder of all things is God. There is no way that there could have been an explosion and all of a sudden we have this beautiful car. No. There's no way all of this world could have accidentally come into being. Every builder, every house has a builder. For he spoke and it was done. Who spoke? God spoke and it was done. He commanded it and it stood fast. Psalm 33:9. All God had to do was speak it into existence. Our God is powerful, isn't he? He is amazing. Day 1. The earth had no form. It was empty and dark. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Genesis 1:1. When? In the beginning. Who? Who created it? It was God. God did it. What? He created the heavens and the earth. He created our whole world, our universe. He created everything that we see. Then God made light when there was none. He spoke it into existence. Remember, it was darkness. There was the waters. But he made light. God spoke it into existence. He said, let there be light, and there was light. The light is not the same as the light from the sun. Remember, on day 4, God made the sun, the moon, and the stars. He did that on day 4. Day 1 was light. What does light do? What does it do? It takes away darkness. Think about that lighthouse and that boat when it's completely dark out there. No stars, no moon, and you can't hardly see your hand in front of your face, but you look out over the ocean and you see a light. It is the lighthouse. It shows you the way. It leads you to land. Light takes away the darkness. It helps us to see. Think about it when you close your eyes. It's dark. But when you open them and there's light, if you have the light on or you're outside, you can see. Light takes away darkness. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So God created our 24 hours of our day. We have daylight, and then we have dark. And then we have daylight again. And then we have night, the darkness. So God created this, our 24-hour day, day 1. Then on day 2, what did God create? Oh, we've got a big word, boys and girls. Firmament. Firmament. And that is a big word, isn't it? But you know what it means? It means sky. Scientific word, atmosphere. And then we have heavens. In the heavens. A lot of times in the Bible, we say, look into the heavens. Look into the sky. The sky, the atmosphere. God created our sky. Now let's see how he did that. Because you know, there's water. There was water. And now we have light. And we have day. And God said, let there be firmament or sky in the midst of the waters. So what did he do? In the midst is in the middle. So you've got something up here and something up here. Well, what's going to be up here? So we've got sky that's in the middle. Well, let's read and find out. He said, the firmament in the middle or the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Ooh. So there's going to be waters up here and waters down below. And there's going to be sky or firmament, atmosphere, right, or the heavens in the middle. So he divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day. So he had evening and morning, we had second day. So there's waters above, waters below, firmament in the middle or the midst of the waters. Now think about it. Do we not have rain? Does it not rain come from the clouds up above? Yes. water up there. Water, sky, and then water. God told us this from the beginning. We didn't need an airplane to go up there. They didn't have it back in the very beginning. God told us what we had up there. Water, firmament, and water down below. Now, we're going to learn in our next lesson about the third and the fourth days of creation. So I hope you're ready to listen to that one next week. Hope to see you then. We have some songs I want us to sing. You know, I love this song, My God is So Big. You know He is big. He's strong and He's mighty. And there's nothing my God cannot do. You know, if He can create this whole world, when we have troubles and we have problems, we can pray to God and ask for His help. The God that can create the light, He can create the sky, the firmament. He can help us, can't He? Let's sing this together. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing God cannot do. The mountains are His, the valleys are His, the trees are His handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. And then this is a wonderful song to learn the days of creation. And I hope you learn this one, because this one helps me too. I go through this song when I think of the days of creation. Day one, God made light when there was none. Day one, God made light when there was none. Day two, God made seas and skies of blue. Day two, God made seas and skies of blue. Day three, God made grass and plants and trees. Day three, God made grass and plants and trees. Day four, God made sun and moon and stars galore. Day four, God made sun, moon and stars galore. Day five, God made birds and fish alive. Day five, God made birds and fish alive. Sixth day, God made animals and man that day. Sixth day, God made animals and man that day. Day seven, God rested in His heaven. Day seven, God rested in His heaven. Good to see you, boys and girls. I hope to see you next time. Until then, we love you. Goodbye.